bloop, and put them back in the pan. And then.
Hola, I'm Edgardo. I'm a recreation supervisor here in the city of Daly City. And I'm with
Zets!
That's David. He's been doing a lot of our cooking demonstrations, a lot of our TikToks when it comes to food. So he's gonna be helping me out as we close out Latinx Heritage Month. We're gonna end it with a sweet treat. So today we're making my favorite dessert. I've never made this before. We're making pastel de tres leches. For those that don't know, it's a cake that is soaked with 3 different milks. Comes out so good, and I can't wait to make it for the first time.
Let's make a mess. So for the cake, what you're gonna need is sugar, flour, eggs, baking powder, oil, vanilla.
And for the actual tres leches, we're gonna need evaporated milk, condensed milk, and whole milk. And for our topping, we're gonna be making our own whipped cream, and we're gonna be covering it with strawberries just to give it some color.
Start by cutting your parchment, spray your pans, and get them ready for when your cake pan is mixed. Also, preheat your oven to 340 degrees Fahrenheit. Start by sifting all your dry ingredients in with your flour and baking powder. You'll be sifting your dry ingredients twice. Once before you're making it, the second time during the process. Add your 6 eggs and sugar into a bowl and stir until light, fluffy, and you get a nice ribbon. Got a nice ribbon? Yeah.
So after you have your batter where it ribbons like that, we're going to incorporate the flour. So now that we have the air and the eggs and the sugar together, we're gonna fold in gently. We're gonna sift in half of our flour and baking powder.
So now you're gonna fold it in, which means to scrape the bottom, go through it, go over the top. You're doing it slowly and gently, not to get any of the air out. Then we're gonna combine the vegetable oil and the vanilla and slowly drizzle it over once it's well combined.
So now we're gonna add the second half of our flour and baking powder, and we're gonna continue to fold until everything's incorporated. So now that we have all our flour incorporated, we're gonna divide it into our 2 pans, which have been oiled. So now we have our pans, we're gonna put them into the oven at 340 degrees. That's gonna take roughly 20 to 25 minutes depending on your oven, the size of your pan. So our cakes are freshly out of the oven, so they've cooled completely. And now we're gonna take them out so that we can cut off the top layer. So cutting off the top layer will allow all the milk that we're about to prepare to soak through the whole cake.
We're taking the top layer off. It's really like you're giving it a nice shave. You wanna do that because instead of poking holes, this will help all of that great 3 milk blend, the Tres Leche blend, go in and really absorb, making it super uber moist and delicious. So it's really just a thin cut and a nice shave. The cooler your cake is, the easier it is to shave. Ours is still not completely cooled, so it kind of looks like my barber from 3 years ago. Bloop, and put them back in the pan. And then, wasn't me.
So now we're gonna make the Tres Leches mixture. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour a can of sweetened condensed milk.
1 hour later.
Now we're adding our evaporated milk. And lastly, we're gonna use whole milk.
Can you use heavy cream?
You could use heavy cream if you'd like. You want to kind of start light and kind of want to thin it out because you're going to whisk it in. So you want your Tres Leches to be milky still because you need to pour it over into the cake so it soaks up. Now, whisk. So once it's pretty much all incorporated, I'm just going to add a couple dashes of vanilla. I'm going to mix that in. So now we're ready to ladle the mixture onto the cakes. So now that you've poured your mixture onto your cake, we're gonna wrap them up and we're gonna put it in the fridge and they're gonna let them soak overnight. So after you put it in the fridge overnight, this is what you're gonna end up with. And now we're gonna make the whipped cream.
If you don't want lumps, you should always just go ahead and sift your powdered sugar whenever you're making a frosting. It's not needed, but it always does help.
So now we're gonna cut up our strawberries. We're gonna do thin slices so we can top our cake. We're gonna add a little bit of whipped cream. I'm gonna spread it out. I'm gonna put our strawberries. So now we're gonna flip over our second layer.
Good luck, everybody!
Now we're gonna top it with the rest of our whipped cream. So there we have it, our first Tres Leches cake. Now let's see how it turned out. We're gonna cut some slices.
Gooey and ooey.
And that's what you should see. Our mixture, leches mixture, soaked all this cake, and that's what all that goodness is right there. So now the final thing to do is to taste.
Shut up. Shut up.
I'm not just saying this because we made this cake right now, but that might be the best Tres Leches cake I've had in a very, very long time. I'm a little speechless right now, so with that, thank you for watching. Make sure you comment if you like this recipe, if you want to see more. Make sure that you follow us on Daly City Rec, on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
And one last thing.
Make sure to stay safe and have fun! Bye-bye, everybody!